So we've decided to do something new here on the channel. Yep, and we're going to start reading some of the up-to-date news so that you guys don't have to be searching around for it in regards to Apple stuff, because I'm an Apple fan and I like to hear the positives and negatives, or what's coming or what's not working well. And we're going to start doing that today. Now, these may come out really frequent, or they may not. It really all depends on if we find any news that's worth talking about. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna move over here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So first one is came out today, is in regards to Apple and the iTunes Store, and it looks like they are making changes. Is that good? Well, yeah. It took some companies and developers kind of going to court over it, but it looks like some changes for sure. And as we can see here, Apple on a Thursday, which was yesterday, announced an agreement in a lawsuit brought by U.S. developers. So what is it going to happen? So we're going to see $100 million small developer assistance fund. Is that useful? Sure. Anything that can help get put towards small developers to help them would be cool. The other big one actually was that developers, it looks like, can now reach out, not necessarily through the app itself, but can reach out to customers with consent to show them different alternative methods of making payments. It could be payments possibly for other in-app purchases or anything in regards to subscriptions or anything like that. So great for developers being able to give consumers options outside of going through the App Store if a consumer gives consent to do that. So that's also a big one. The other one here that I thought was interesting was in regards to commission. So Apple will continue to offer reduced 15% commission rates, which is great, for developers earning less than $1 million a year. So that's actually a fairly high ceiling for that. So any developer that makes less than $1 million earnings for their apps can only pay 15%. Cool, right? Because I think the standard is 30%. So that's a lot more money in these small developers' pockets. So that's really cool. So yeah, I think there's some great changes there, and hopefully it's a big win for the developers, which means a win for the consumers. That's the hope. Another one here that is kind of interesting, and I find it funny because being that I'm on YouTube, like what you're watching, Google pays a lot of money and takes in a lot of money via advertisement, via YouTube, via Google search, and all kinds of, that's where they make their money. So this actually says here, an article on MacRumors talks about Google could pay Apple $15 billion to maintain the default iOS search engine status in 2021. $15 billion. And that's an increase. It's an increase. I guess currently it says that they are paying $10 billion. That's as of right now. $10 billion is what they paid last year to Apple to make sure that Google was the default search. There's a lot of money moving around in these big companies, but very interesting. And it looks like there's more options. And I'm sure a lot of these companies, Yahoo, as it says here, Microsoft, they've all, I'm sure, been interested in trying to figure out how to become a default search on the iPhone and iPad and MacBook and things like that. So I'm sure Google's like, take this money. Here you go. We'll reap the benefits on the back end through all of our advertisement. So I found that really interesting, just how much money is actually changing hands. $15 billion. Wow. For those of us with AirTags, and I have the Apple AirTags. I love them. Not that I use them a lot, but I have used them to locate my keys and actually locate an actual AirTag that fell off my keychain. It looks like Apple has released a new firmware update for AirTags. So as you can see here, Apple releases new firmware update. Now this isn't something that I can see that you have to go in anywhere like you would on an iPhone or an iPad or MacBook and actually tell it to do a firmware upgrade. But it says that as long as your phone, which is attached to those AirTags, is in like Bluetooth distance, it should force the update through. So if you want to be sure, I guess, or hope that it's got the newest update, just make sure that the AirTag and the iPhone are in range of each other. So for instance, it's my keys that have the AirTags on them. If I wanted to be sure, what I would do is I would just take my phone and put them within Bluetooth range of my keys and let them sit there for a little while, and they should fire the update over to the AirTags. So just be aware, it's there. If you're someone that has an AirTag sitting somewhere else, you may want to get your phone close to it or bring the AirTag closer to you so that it has a chance to do that update. So yeah, firmware update. That's good. We always like firmware updates, I think, maybe. Not that this is official news by any means, but if you weren't aware, then you've probably been living under a rock. Every year, we get a new iPhone, we get a new iPad, we get a new Apple Watch. And Apple Watch 7 is scheduled to come out probably sometime this year. But it looks like Apple Watch Series 7 clones are already available in China. Oh yes. And we've done some reviews actually here on the channel for some clones for the previous Apple Watches, of course on the Apple AirPods, the AirPod Pros, things like that. And they never are anywhere near the performance or feature set or quality really of the actual Apple gear. But at a distance, it kind of looks like it. So it looks like the Apple Watch Series 7, the clones are out. Yep, the clones have been released. Oh yes. So Apple, it says here, has not confirmed that any redesign is coming, but the fakes match the details in majority of the leaks that are out there. So a lot of leaks out there saying what the actual Apple Watch Series 7 will look like, and it looks like the actual clones have kind of copied that. So is it going to be official? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm always interested. I think it's interesting to see how close the clones get cosmetically, because for one, it kind of shows if they can make it for, you know, a lot of these guys are making these like Apple Watch clones, you know, you pick them up for $59. The hardware is, some of the hardware is in there, not, of course, not to that level, but it's interesting. I find it interesting. And here's probably a big one for a lot of us, and myself included, because I'm humming, I'm on the fence this year. Like, I've had an iPhone 10, we have an iPhone 11 in the house, we have an iPhone 12 Pros, and of course the iPhone 13 is reportedly, this is not official because of course no official invites or anything has been sent out yet, but Apple reportedly to launch the iPhone 13 on September 17th, AirPods 3rd Gen on September 30th. So if we are looking at September 17th as a release date or a launch for the actual iPhone 13, then we should possibly see some kind of keynote, at least a couple days or a week probably at most before this date. So that's not too far. That's not too far from now, just a couple weeks. So it'll be interesting, as well as, you know, the AirPods 3. When the AirPods went from the 1st gen to the 2nd gen, they added little things like primarily wireless charging was the biggest one for me that I noticed. I'm not sure what more they could do for a 3rd gen. Interesting to see. But headphones nowadays, for one, we test a lot of headphones, earbuds on this channel, and we're seeing the quality of earbuds just significantly raising and the price points dropping. So really interesting, or interested and curious to see what Apple's going to do in regards to that, because of course theirs is a premium, right? You pay a premium for AirPods. So I don't know. I don't know myself if I could get them at the same price as other earbuds. Yeah, I'd probably pick up a pair, but I don't own a pair of earbuds. AirPods. I don't even know. AirPods. I don't own a pair because I've got so many other ones that are honestly just as good, and some of them are even better, at least in regards to audio quality for sure. So, but put it on your calendar, September 17th. We may have to erase it, so put it in like dry marker or something like that. Yeah. And this is a big one for some of us that actually have Apple Arcade. I actually use Apple Arcade, and we're unpacking our house and I'm looking for my controllers. I've got two somewhere, but what's cool, because there hasn't been a lot on Apple Arcade that I'm actually something that I would want to play, but new as of, I guess, today, we're seeing a couple games come out. Big one for me, Asphalt 8 Airborne is out. So I've enjoyed playing the Asphalt series on my iPhone and enjoyed playing it on my iPad. Now being able to play it on my Apple TV should be a huge one. And I'm thinking that we'll start to see more games that were released just in the App Store before for iOS coming out through Apple Arcade. And I believe, especially with Asphalt 8, it's kind of a complete reimagining, I guess, of it, where all the ads, so all the pay increase things that you would do through the iOS download version, they're all gone. And it's just, no, you're just Apple Arcade, so you get the game. Have at her, which is kind of nice. So a couple games in here. Again, this is on 9 to 5 Mac. Maybe we'll start seeing games that make Apple Arcade worthwhile, because right now it's not something I play very often. But I was thinking about this the other day. Anybody follow this? We're seeing Game Pass, Xbox, with their xCloud, being able to play Xbox games on your iPhone and your iPad through web streaming. So can you make that doable on the Apple TV? Do you imagine your Apple TV setting up as just a box that runs an app that streams it down? I can play with my controller. Now I got an Xbox Series X, sort of, kinda, as long as my internet's good, through an Apple TV. That's what I want. Microsoft, if you can make that happen, make it happen. Make it so. And here's two last ones I'm going to give you for today. Two last ones I'm going to give you because, as many of you know, I used to work at Apple, a retail store. I left there because of a lot of issues and concerns that I had in regards to even like work-life balance, and having, for me, a company that was willing to work alongside me to give me that balance, right? So, number one, Apple II has amassed, so it's a hashtag, Apple II, has amassed nearly 500 stories of Apple workplace issues. So a group of Apple employees organized themselves under the Apple II moniker, says they have collected over or almost 500 stories from current and former Apple employees about workplace issues including racism, sexism, discrimination, retaliation, bullying, sexual and other forms of harassment, and sexual assault. So I will, again, this is on Mac Daily News. You guys can go there if you want to take a look at this. But it says here, the most common thread in the stories is being ignored by HR. And from a person that actually sent, when I was leaving Apple after almost 11 years, when I left, I sent an email to Tim Cook and to HR, not expecting that I'd get anything back. Now, I did hear something back from HR. They actually wanted to contact me, one from Apple Canada, which is where I am, and one from Apple US. Apple Canada, I had a great conversation with them. Did anything happen? I don't think so. I don't think anything happened. Apple US said they wanted to talk to me, and even though I kept reaching out to them trying to figure it, nothing happened. It was just, they just We don't care is what it honestly is what it felt like. So I'm just throwing it out there. So I may actually take a look at that hashtag, because it may be something that maybe I'll throw my 2 cents in there, you know, for someone that was there for as long as I was as well. And then last but not least, Apple urges all employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19, but stops short of mandate. So they are saying, please do it. But if you don't want to, I guess Merit can't force you. So seems to be what a lot of companies are doing right now. So here's my question. What do you think? You don't need to say it. Do you, if you want to, are you vaccinated? I am. Double dose. I'm double dosed, baby. Oh yeah. So I've got them. Please don't be like giving me all kinds of conspiracy theory stuff down there. I don't want to hear it. And if you do, I'm just going to block you anyway, or just hide your comments. So please don't, unless you have something actual, reasonable, and factual to say. Okay. So if you want to comment on that, please, do you have it? Do you think companies should have the right as their own company to mandate this? And if they do, should they? Or should they leave it up to the employee to make that decision? And if they don't follow the mandate, should there be consequences? Oh, lots. I'm expecting good stuff down there. Good stuff. Again, if you're just down there looking to fire conspiracy theories, we're just going to block you and hide you, just so you know. So be kind. Put some thought into what you're saying if you're going to say something. And that's it. All right, guys, that's kind of the little news wrap up for today. We're not going to do them over the weekends because usually there's not a lot of news that comes out over the weekends, but maybe we'll get back to it again on Monday. Yeah. All right, my friends. That's it. That's all. We will talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the little notification bell. And we'll see you then. Later, guys.